What is good? It is your boy, Mr. Frenzy from MrFrenzyProductions.com, and welcome to Module 2. In Module 2, we are going to focus on programming drums. So instead of using just construction packs, when you program your own drums, one, you can actually create your own ideas when it comes to the drums. And also you'll have full control over your personal ideas and your own musicianship. So let's get into it. So first off, to program your own drums, you have to understand what the channel rack is. So this is the channel rack in FL Studio, and it's one of the coolest things about FL Studio, okay? And you're gonna learn why in just a second. But the channel rack basically allows you to sample and also to program your own drums, okay? Now, here's the thing about the channel rack, okay? So you have these little nodes here, which you can program drums in, or you could also program in the piano roll, okay? For my course and my purposes, we're only going to be programming using the piano roll. And the reason why is so that you get familiar with how the piano roll operates. So when we go to use chords and MIDI and all that sort of stuff, you'll be familiar with how the rhythm theory applies to the piano roll. So it's just going to be a lot easier for you to navigate the piano roll when we get into chords, okay? So first off, let's actually just place in some music just so that we can kind of feel what we're working with, okay? So I'm going to just get one of my loops. Structure kits, no. Melodic loops. This is where I keep all my loops. On this one would be fine. Cool. Yeah, I like this one. So first off, if you're using any form of loop, just make sure to set your BPM to the right BPM, okay? Or else the loop will sound funky. Or actually it won't lock to the grid. And you'll see exactly the reason why you need it to lock to the grid. Okay, so let's now start looking at how the piano roll operates, okay? So over here in my channel rack, what I have is the audio files in the channel rack, and also if I go to unsorted, I have the just basically everything else. Okay, so if I want to start programming some drums, all I have to do is just go over to your drums, any drums. We're going to use my drums. I'm going to start with a clap. That's fine. I'm just going to load it in to the channel rack. Okay, now if I just hit some random nodes here on the sequencer, there you go. Now you have your drums in there. However, a lot of producers use the channel rack, but when it comes to full-on control, you're not going to be able to kind of see effectively exactly what you're doing. So we're going to go to the piano roll. So what we're going to do to go to the piano roll is we're going to right-click on this, and we're going to go to piano roll, okay? We're going to be working on C5 because that is the original placement for the sound, okay? So this right here, that's how the sound sounds. See what I mean? Now, if I put it way down here, it's going to pitch the sample down, so it's going to sound lower. See what I mean? Same thing over here. And that sounds higher, okay? So automatically right there, you have more control even over the sound, you know what I mean? Just by using the piano roll. So anyway, let's get into the actual functionality of the piano roll. All of this boxes and lines and all that sort of stuff means something. This is all rhythm based, okay? So in music, there's patterns of rhythm that us musicians have to follow to make sure that our music has a certain quality of rhythm. Okay, it's kind of like walking. When we walk, it's one foot in front of the other. Like we walk at a steady pace, and that feels familiar to us, and it's just steady. Same thing in music. So first off, to be able to kind of get the understanding of how the piano grid works, what we have to do is we have to listen to it and look at the grid in context of the metronome. Now the metronome, let's play it. Now, the metronome is hitting on certain beats. The metronome is actually counting quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me show you. 1. Actually, let's do it again. Let's actually zoom in a little bit here. There we go. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Look. So you have these more opaque lines here, and then you have these dominant lines. These dominant lines are actually the certain beats, the quarter note beats. Okay, let's look at it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the foundation of our rhythm. What I'm gonna do is just to make sure that I'm in the right place, is I'm going to actually write on the grid what my time values are, okay? So we have 1, this is beat number 2. Remember, I'm just following quarter note structure and all that sort of stuff. It's really just as fundamental as that. There's 4 beats per measure. And this is 4, okay? Now, if I wanted to just place in just claps on every single beat, let's actually push this down to make sure we're on C5. It matches with the metronome. See what I mean? If I take out the claps. See what I mean? Okay. Now, here's the thing. Say I just wanted to actually, in just normal, I guess, snare rhythms in rock and roll, the snare drum is usually on the 2s and 4s because it signifies double time. So if I put the clap here and the clap here, there you go. You have your standard snare or clap rhythm, okay? So that's exactly how the piano roll works when it comes to programming, okay? And this is just fundamental stuff. In the next module, what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually place the drums on the grid according to the actual beats, okay? If you follow this process, it's going to make your drum sequencing a lot easier, okay? And it really just takes a little tiny bit of rhythm theory to understand how it operates, okay? So, this is Mr. Frendz from MrFrendzProductions.com, and I will see you in the next one.